Hello everyone, welcome back to Force Galaxy, and today in our video we will going to talk about what are triggers in Salesforce and many more things. So let's get started.
Hi there. You may be working from here, or here, or even here. No matter where you're working, Salesforce can bring your company and customers together from anywhere. How do we do that? Meet Salesforce Customer 360, our entire portfolio of technology, uniting your teams on one CRM platform to create seamless customer experiences.
Our very first question, what is trigger in Salesforce? Apex Triggers enables you to perform custom action before or after events to records in Salesforce such as updation, deletion and insertion. Now, when to use trigger? We use triggers to perform operation based on specific condition, to modify related records or to restrict operation from performing. And we use triggers to do anything which we can do in Apex, including executing SQL, performing DML or calling custom Apex methods. We use triggers to perform the tasks which can't be done by using the point and click tools in the Salesforce user interface. Let's consider example. If I want to validate a field or update a field on a record, then instead of using the trigger, I will go for the validation rule or the workflow rules. Now, what are the different types of triggers we are having? We are having two types of trigger. The one is before trigger and the second is after trigger. Before trigger, they are used before to perform the task before the record is inserted, updated or deleted. These are used to update or validate a record values before they are saved into the database. Now, the after triggers are used to access the field values which are set by the system. Example, the last modified date, the record ID, and to effect the changes in the related records. They are the records which fires the after triggers are read only. Now, the major advantage of before trigger is here you can modify or make changes in the trigger.new values, and doing so you not need to perform an extra DML. So if you need to make modification in the trigger.new, then the before trigger is an better option. Let's make it more simpler. Consider account object having a record with picklist value. Send an email. Now what I want, whenever my account record is inserted or updated and meet the criteria of having the picklist value, send an email, then my trigger should fire to perform to send an email. In this example, we only worked on the account object, only the single object is impacted. So for this case, we'll go for the before triggers. Now similarly, consider an example for the after triggers. Now what I want, whenever my opportunity is updated, I want or inserted, I want a task to be created. Now in this case, we are having two objects. That is, one is updated, then the other one, the related one, is inserted or updated. So in this case, we'll go for the after triggers. Now let's take the look on the events of triggers in Salesforce. We are having after insert, after update, delete and undelete. And in before, we are having before insert, before update, before delete. And we are not having before undelete here. Why so? As before undelete record does not exist in the database, if we query the record, will not be find it, as the save operation of DML is still in progress. That is why no before undelete is present, but after undelete is there, because as the record is generated back into the database. Now let's take a look on the context variable in the trigger. To access the records that cause trigger to fire, we use context variable. Example, trigger.new. Trigger.new contains all the records that were inserted in the insert or update triggers. Similarly, trigger.old contains the old version or provides the old version of the S object before the record is updated in the update triggers. Trigger can fire when one record is inserted or multiple record is inserted. Therefore, context variable like trigger.new can contain only one record or multiple records. In the description section, I have provided the link where you can find the different context variable and their purpose. Now we take a look into the recursive trigger. What are recursive trigger and how to avoid it? Yes, there is a possibility my trigger can end up by calling the same trigger again and again and can run in a loop. This is what known as the recursive trigger, and to avoid this, what we can do, we can create a static variable and check the value of this static variable before executing the logic of my trigger. Now let's take a look what are triggers and callouts, how we can make callout using triggers. And in simple words, first see what is callout. Epic's call to external web services is referred to as callout. When making a callout using triggers, then it should be done asynchronously so that the trigger does not block you from working while waiting for the response from the external web service. To make a callout from a trigger, call a class method that executes asynchronously. Such a method is known as future method and is annotated with @future callout equals to true. In description section, I have provided a link from where you can have a look on triggers. And in our next video, we'll cover up the trigger with example. Till then, goodbye. Get subscribed to my channel. Thank you.